My name is Michael Randolph, and I'll be your guest tonight. I'm with the Center for Nonprofit and Community Development, and what we do is to focus on providing technical support to both nonprofits and small for-profits. Some of the ways we do that is by providing 4 informational videos. Tonight's video is going to focus on a new type of purpose-driven entity. It's called Low Profits, Limited Liability Corporation. And it's going to change the narrative on how we're able to fund our different initiatives by different types of income streams. The title of this workshop is The End of the 501c3 and the Start of the L3C. Now, just to give a little difference between the two before we go into really detail, the 501c3, unfortunately, is limited in terms of what money it can bring in as a nonprofit, and that is limited to donations, money from corporations, money from the government, money from foundations. On the other hand, the L3C is different, and its strategies to bring in different streams of income makes this type of entity important in terms of providing the amounts of money that we're going to need in order to change the narrative. What is an L3C? Well, in short, it's the synthesizing of both a nonprofit and a for-profit into one entity, or what they call a low-profit, limited liability company. So let's talk about the difference between a 501c3 and an L3C. Let's look at taxation. The IRS, when it made changes to the tax laws in order to assist corporations to get subsidies and things of that nature, it said that the corporation had to give back at least 5% of its net profit. In a way, the requirements are fulfilled is the traditional way. For example, you're a 501c3 and you have a charitable cause and you are asking the IRS to give you exemption from paying taxes. However, as a 501c3, you are limited in terms of your ability to bring in different revenue and bring in money. The IRS also, when it comes to corporation and meeting the requirements, they need to be met, say that a corporation could also provide up to 5% of this program-related investment that will count towards the requirement as to whether or not they're filling out their obligation under federal laws. This then brings in how how are L3Cs funded? Basically, it's funded through what's known as program-related investment. And we'll talk about this and type of investment and how it can be used to leverage all types of funding as we move forward with this presentation. But make sure that you understand that one of the benefits of being a L3C is that you're able to invest in businesses as long as that business has a charitable purpose. And we'll talk more about that and why that's important. So we touched earlier on it, but the next difference between nonprofits and L3Cs is fundraising. We talked earlier about taxation. Now let's talk about fundraising. A 501c3, again, we talked earlier about it, is limited in terms of where it can get its funding from, be it foundation, government grants, or donation. The L3C was structured to obtain program-related investments, or in other words, really low interest loans. Now, the idea behind this type of thinking with the corporations is that if we give an organization a grant, to the organization, it's a grant. It's an expense. If we give a grant, it's an expense. On the other hand, if we made investment by way of loans to purpose-driven organizations, that means that money comes back time after time after time and allow those corporations to constantly have a flow of money for new entities that's coming into play. That's to be thinking behind the new thinking behind the merging of the L3C. Again, I can't overemphasize program-related investment. We're going to talk some more about that. Another thing is that nonprofits are generally prevented from investing into for-profit businesses. If you're a nonprofit, you cannot invest in a for-profit business. And L3C, on the other hand, can invest in for-profit businesses. That's critical when you're doing economic development and especially poor communities, and being able to have a new bundle of assets, capital coming in to help those businesses. The third type of difference in terms of nonprofit versus L3C is the distribution of assets. As you know, if you're a nonprofit, when you decide to dissolve your organization, then that you must give the assets either to another corporation, another nonprofit, the faith community, or the government. Excuse me for this private prison rehab. I'm going to talk about that later on in terms of how you can use money. It was inadvertently put here. Now, let's go back to the distribution. If you are a L3C, then you're permitted to distribute the proceeds of your activities to its owner. Totally different than a 501c3. Let's continue on. Let's talk about how does it make sense in the way it brings in different capital, different revenue streams, different strategies, unlike a 501c3. Financial self-sufficiency is the ultimate end game for a L3C. And it does this by one, getting continual revenue from foundation inputs. The other thing is that it's able to leverage angel and venture capital, as well as other types of lenders out there as a L3C. And then nobody can get these loans below market rate. The other thing is capital flow to double bottom line. That is, it's a win-win for both the for-profit and the nonprofit. Another component is this ability to be able to invest, be it stocks or bonds, cryptos, NFTs, any of that type of investment that's out there, artificial intelligence, any type of investment that's out there. And there's many different streams of investment financial vehicles that's out there that I only begin to mention that the entity can use to bring in money into the organization. Some of the other benefits about getting program-related investment dollars is that A, it's interest-free or below market rate. It increases your opportunity for loan participation, loan guarantees. Equity investments is another key attraction of this type of entity, and leases. As a for-profit organization, the LLC can raise capital by issuing debt or selling shares. It's another way of constantly bringing in dollars into the organization. With this type of unlimited funding coming in, nonprofit can use this money to fund daycare centers, affordable housing, business development, community garden, homelessness, homelessness, money for the arts, youth programs, workforce training, education, and more. In addition to nonprofits that are concerned about the school to prison pipeline and being able to invest money to build your own private prisons with rehab service to help those returning to the system. This is truly an awesome new way of bringing in monies for purpose-driven nonprofits. I got a workshop coming up, and if you want to be part of the workshop to learn even more, email me at centerfornonprofitandcommunity@gmail.com. That's the Center for Nonprofit and Community@gmail.com. This is one of many videos that we do to educate on different aspects, from technology, to finances and beyond, that helps nonprofit to prepare themselves for the future. I hope this has helped you. And if it's so, please email us and tell us how you've been able to be helped from this video, and look for an upcoming workshop online. Thank you.